I'm with
Cameron,
and today, Cameron, what are we in?
we're in a 2008 R32.
Bone stock.
Yeah, bone stock.
How often do you get to do this? It is auto. It only came in DSG, like you said,
Yep.
right?
Yep. In 2008, they only came out with 5,000 of them. So they only made DSG. The bit really to do like the business proposition, they had to only make around 5,000 and make only 5,000 DSG.
It's interesting because do you have paddles right here?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So that at least gives you some form of control.
Oh yeah.
Because if you did it, that'd be kind of wonky. And they only made, you said 5,000 of these?
Yep. So it's on the steering wheel right here. Which one it is?
Oh, 1462.
Yep.
Wow.
Left foot, and then just like kind of lightly press the gas, left foot to the ground, and then just go to the ground and kind of press it to the ground. There it goes. All right.
Whoa. Okay. That initial hit is insane.
Yeah, way harder than a GTI, right?
Yeah.
No wheel spin either, so that's
No.
like,
Well, you felt the car talk to the computer, talk to everything. It was like, no, you're not going to wheel spin. It's
Right.
not going to happen.
Yes.
If you build a car with launch control in it, and you say it voids your warranty, shame on you. Remember how much controversy there was with the R35? You know, it was like, wait, you're telling me I bought this car that's so famous and so marketed with its launch control, but I'm not allowed to use it?
yeah, right.
It's silly.
Right, I agree, because that was like the selling point on that car was the
It
launch
was the
control.
selling, like, you know, James May did it, you know, all the Top Gear guys did it, and they're like, that was amazing, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I can't use it. I've recently been a big fan of the Mark 7 GTI.
Mark 7
I've
GTI.
driven a lot of those with tunes and downpipes and stuff like that.
Okay.
Haven't done the Golf R yet, which is really sweet too, but the Mark 7 really like opened my eyes to VW in a lot of ways. I thought it's a great car, but I never drove the R32. So
okay, so now you get to see, like when I'm really a BMW guy.
Okay.
Like, and like my dad had some 2002s back in the day.
Whoa.
So yeah, he rebuilt two of those. So like he kind of got me into Beamers, and then I was out on looking at cars and stuff when I was 18 and came across the Rabbit, a 2008 Rabbit with the 5-cylinder.
Oh, cool.
And it was, like it chirped tires going into second, it was a little fun car, and fell in love with it, and then I found out about the R32, and the second I drove one, I was like, yes.
Game over. Yeah.
And if you want, we can
Sport
go ahead and
mode.
go to sport mode.
Cool, now I have
red
full
match and
control.
stuff. You can just go to the paddles, and then if you want to go back to just regular sport mode, it'll shift for you. If you hold the right paddle, it'll go back to
Right, if I just
mode.
hold it.
Yeah.
Cool. What I've noticed though is the paddles are tiny.
They are tiny.
They're really small. Like, I thought they were just radio controls at first.
Right,
I
just
was
little,
like, yeah, just
little
little
buttons.
like doohickeys back here. So this is VR6.
Yes.
And how much did the VR6 make in this car?
250.
Perfect. Cool. Oh yeah, it's like, I think the one thing about the VR6 that's so interesting about it is its sound. It almost has that 5-cylinder weird
That
sound,
Audi.
but with an X6-cylinder, but you know what I mean.
Right, like that classic, like 80s, 90s Audi, like 5-cylinder screen and stuff.
Well, I was telling him earlier, guys, I did a Jetta recently, maybe like 3 or 4 months ago. That was a built VR6
Built
with a
VR6
turbo
with
on
turbo.
it. Dude, it was wild. Like, it sounded unlike anything. And to think the pistons, instead of being like this, are like this. The pattern. It's so strange to me.
It really is, because it's a single cylinder head V6, so it's like a completely different type of setup.
It's what makes the VR6 special. And I remember when I met somebody who was like super into VW back in like 2010, 2011. It's like, yeah, I'm saving up for a VR6 swap. And I'm like, VR6, I wonder what that is.
Right.
And I looked it up and I was like, oh wow, that's strange. I drove the Mark 6 GTI as well, which is, it feels a lot like this in the inside.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same car.
Same wheel, same everything inside. And, but you do notice the all-wheel drive right off the bat.
Wow, that's the thing, like my brother has a 2008 GTI, and like from my car to his car, it's night and day. Like how it feels.
It's so funny because it's kind of like the comparison between, say, the Focus ST to the Focus RS. And it's because the Focus ST is still a great car. That's not the problem.
Right.
It's just when you drive the RS, you're like, this is next level. We're driving an all-wheel drive in a VW.
And I went and test drove a Golf R, a MK6 Golf R, and like even from going from my car with the naturally aspirated, like you can't beat that naturally aspirated.
No. It's like just enough to like give you a sense of like you're moving, you're accelerating.
Yes.
And it's not like, it's not crazy, but it's almost a good thing. It's pretty composed. And with it being an A, I'm not used to driving this body without a turbo on it.
Exactly.
I'm waiting for that spool, but instead it just gives you that bottom end torque, which is not there in the GTI.
Exactly. And like you gotta, like, you know how with the turbo motor it starts, you know, dropping off the power at the top, and like, you know, because you don't have such high
Exactly. Let's see how R32 does. The all-wheel drive, when I go into corner, you feel it right off the bat. You feel the back end pushing you.
Yes.
While the GTI, you're kind of hanging on.
Yes.
You're like, don't kick out
and
or
the
anything.
brakes, you feel how good the brakes are comparatively to a GTI? Yes.
You hit the brakes, back at it. No, like, oh, dead zone.
No lag.
So smooth. Everybody always supported the R32. Even the Mark IV one, the more boxy one.
Oh yeah.
That thing's sweet. I've always loved that too.
It really is.
But yeah, I've never had the chance to drive one ever. So it's been really fun so far. I'm just curious how to handle a really intense S. Well, it's just, okay, so I noticed had I let off right there, it would have understeered.
Yes.
If you have to go in it, that's one thing about all-wheel drive that's so awkward is if you're used to front or rear, you let off, you're safe.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, okay, it snaps back in place. This is you let off, it's like, it doesn't want to do it. It's just like, no, gotta floor it to get around the corner. Whoever's watching, don't always floor it around the corner. Don't take that. I'm not saying that you need to add a little bit of throttle to get it to come around.
And with this being Haldex based, so it's Quattro, so it definitely.
Yeah.
I love Quattro. Some people try to say against it because it can, you know, understeer a little more than, because it starts, especially this one actually compared to like Audi, like S-Line Quattros.
Right.
This one has, it's not a 60-40 bias, it's actually front bias until it slips. So it's more like a classic Quattro, but it definitely works out good.
DSG is super smooth too.
Yes. And it's like, people say, you know, like both my first cars were manual, and, you know, I love manual and swear by it, but like, this car, I almost feel like it deserves the DSG, in a way.
No.
Like, it pairs well with it.
Going back to the Mark 7 though,
right.
The GTI DSG is unreal.
It really is.
I rode in one in Canada, in Quebec, and it was an APR, like, built one.
Yeah.
And it just went, it was interesting because the first 3 gears weren't that fast. It went bam, 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 and then fourth just reeled out to over like 100.
Just kept
I
going.
was like, oh my God. It always makes me question why those hot hatches are front wheel drive. You know, it's like, why don't they just make all of them all wheel? But then you're like, oh, right, they're a business. They have to save money on the drivetrain and everything else.
Because then you do that and it takes away completely from the engine and like what else, because like
it's not cool anymore. It's the base model.
Yep.
You know, if you don't give people that extra option, it's like with Porsche. You know for a fact they can make the Cayman the fastest car in the lineup.
Oh yeah.
But they won't. Because it's the 911's their baby.
Yeah,
you know, they can't
flagship.
do it.
They gotta keep it as their best car.
But if all VWs were R32s, you know, it'd be like, wow, that's a really. It's like it'd be the R35 all over again, but in a smaller scale.
Right.
It's like people are so fatigued on the R35 overall. It's like, yeah, whatever. It's a GTR.
Right. They know it's fast.
Revs, 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 revs. Still not done. Still not done. Still not done. Still not done. Okay, we're done.
Oh, would you? Whenever me and my brother, you know, go to Mexico and stuff, you know, and, we like every time, like I'll be next to him and he's just shifting, you know, knocking gears
a lot
out.
more.
Yeah, and I'm just sticking out in third and stuff.
I've noticed that too. And the gearing's a lot longer.
Yes.
The GTI, you're like, brah. And you're into the next one. It's like almost like a front wheel drive Evo in a way. You're just brap. And this, it's like you go on and on and on. And earlier when you did that little toot of a pull, it's like, oh wow, I had like 4,000 RPM left. The DSG, I have noticed though, it's like if I big toe it just enough, it's like, oh, you want to go fast, it'll downshift on you,
In,
like instantly.
this one also got with the DSG. I was reading online that they put the most aggressive shift pattern on this one with the DSG too.
Got it.
So it's very, very like it wants to go the second. And when you put it in the sport mode like it is, you touch the like gas and it just wants to move.
Yeah, it screams.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people are like, David, if you could own like one German car, what would it be? And I'd be like, I think it has to be all-wheel drive, one.
Right.
And two, like, it's kind of like the 5-cylinder old Rally Quattro. You know, the old Audi Quattro, the big boxy one with the crazy diffuser and everything on it.
Yeah.
I love those.
The Audi Sport Quattros? Those,
yeah.
Like, yes, there's one of caffeine and octane.
And they sound like they're like V10s, but they're not. It's like half of a V10, which is literal in a sense, but the sound of it too. The Audi TT RS now is almost like that.
Yeah, because they went back and used that same engine as like the basis for that car.
It's so great, but I'm glad, like, for example, we're getting a little tangent, but the R32 is, what I'm saying is the R32 is like a baby version of those.
Yes,
you know,
yeah,
you have
yeah.
you have like the starter pack, and then you have the big boy toy, which is like going into the R8 and everything else when it comes to the VW lineup. It's really hard not to tell a kid, for example, who's like, I'm into cars, what's a good first car? And I go, are you in high school and college? And they go, yeah, I'm like GTI or hot hatch.
Yeah.
Because it's just the way to go. Because you have just enough driver feel to have fun, and you're not going to kill yourself. I mean,
it's not too much power to where you're going to not be able to handle it.
A part of me is wondering, had they shortened it up, it would make it probably more exciting of a car to where it's going brah brah brah, because it's like a Honda, you know, like brah brah brah, you're going crazy.
Right.
But this makes it so much more balanced of a car that it takes away that drama. So to get the lap time you want, you're good. But if you just want that excitement, maybe it might not be for everybody, because you know, it's not like those other manual cars where you're in and out the entire time. You can tell that all-wheel drive can give people a false sense of invincibility.
Yes.
Because eventually, when you hit the limit's gone. You are gone. So you just have to know your limit.
And I'll tell you what, just recently when it was a little wet outside one day, I did go around one turn and hit a little oil spot, and the back end did slide out for me.
Oh, no.
Executed a perfect drift out of it, but it was just, it was one of those times where I was like, whoa, like, you know, you don't have perfect confidence all the time.
And that's when you go, I meant to do that. It was totally planned. I saw that wet spot, and I knew it was going to happen.
Oh, yeah, I tried for it.
Anyway, thank you all so much for watching VOS 6 Power.
See you guys.
See ya.